What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Dima, Mario Brothers music. So there is no doubt that Steve Harvey is a super successful businessman, very hardworking and moderately talented because he's not really that funny. But besides that, hard work, dedication, and a little bit of luck has catapulted Steve Harvey to the top of Hollywood and entertainment. Not only just that, but in the minds of many, Steve Harvey is looked at as a role model, somewhat of a father figure to those upcoming in the industry. But do you guys really understand that those people have a whole bunch of respect and looked at as almost perfect? They typically have a lot of issues inside of their own home or in their relationships. Like, just look at Tom Brady. By far, he's the greatest NFL quarterback ever seen. He's the epitome of success of a professional athlete. He will go down as one of the greatest leaders in sports history of all time. But he can't even keep his own wife because, hey, he's a quarterback, not a great husband. He has problems in his relationship that he just can't fix. This is no different than Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey has been married not once, not twice, but 3 times. And with 3 different wives and children from those aforementioned marriages, things can get a little different. But I want you guys to hear something that is quite troubling from this YouTuber here, very good YouTuber by the name of Kiki's Tea. She just dropped a video called Brandy Harvey Reveals Why Marjorie is the Real Evil Stepmother. Let's check it out.
The drama in Steve Harvey's family is nowhere close to being over because his biological kids are still feuding with his wife, Marjorie. His oldest daughter, Brandy, especially seems to have a major problem with Marjorie, and sources say she has never really trusted her. So is it true that Marjorie made Steve prioritize his adopted children more than his biological kids? And what really happened between Brandy and Marjorie? So we all know that Steve's kids have never really liked Marjorie, but her recent accusations reveal just how messed up the situation really is. And it's not like these accusations are coming out of thin air because people have been giving Marjorie some major side eye ever since she got married to Steve. There has been a lot of talk on social media about how Marjorie is only with Steve because of his money, not because she really likes him. But the drama in the Harvey family goes deeper than Marjorie being after Steve's money, because Steve's biological kids believe that Marjorie has turned their father against them and forced him to pay more attention to her own kids. So there has been this rumor going around for years that Marjorie put pressure on Steve to adopt her own 3 kids and give them his last name. But even though Brandy and her siblings found it weird, they didn't push more on it because they thought it would end there, but they were wrong. Over the years since Marjorie and Steve have been married, Marjorie has been steadily pushing her own kids to the front line, especially Lori.
So I'd like you guys to go down and subscribe, hit the bell on her channel. She has a really good celebrity channel, but I kind of want to talk about this because this is something that's very apparent what happens to a lot of us, maybe it's even as black men, as we move on. Now let me talk about my own situation. In my own situation, my parents divorced. My father was not as successful as he was with my mother. It was his first time being married. Soon after leaving, he got on his feet, started doing a lot better with the new lady. And so the people who benefited the most was the new lady. My stepmom, they're now divorced. Can I get a celebration music? I hate her. I cannot stand her. If you're watching this video, you be a Bia. But anyways, like, I don't like the lady, okay? I've never liked her. But to be fair, because, you know, my mother and father still couldn't get it together, the new lady benefited from his newfound efforts, right? He was now more of a professional man. You know, he went, you know, and became a nurse practitioner, and all of the money and the accolades the second family got. And she had kids from other guys. Who the clapping sounds? I mean, she stayed doing that because she's a dot. But anyways, yeah, she ended up doing very well. He ended up doing very well. And that's what happened. But now there was some jealousy towards, you know, his kids from my mom, because it's like, wait a minute, you know, your new family is receiving what we should have received. But that's what happens when you file for divorce. All right. Now, here's something that typically happens when your father is living with a new woman. Your kids from the old relationship, not that you don't love them, okay? But the reality is that the mom can say bad things about the father. You know, your father don't care. Your father is this, your father is that, painting the father in a negative light. The father doesn't have custody, all right? And most women, I honestly believe, when they divorce men, they don't feel like that man is going to be successful in the future. Like, that's how most ladies pretty much guess it. They don't think he's going to become anybody. First marriage, second marriage, they feel like, okay, after we divorce, I might get this or whatever. He shouldn't be able to rebound. And some guys rebound in a major way. In fact, they use this experience to get better. And one of the ways that men can pretty much get back at their ex-wife and even some of their strained relationship with their family is to make sure that their newfound family or their stepchildren become what the other kids could not become because of the strained relationship, because of the, you know, you're not able to be there. You can't stay with them. You know, the new moms have beef with the old ex-wife. So there's certain things like that. So what the Kiki T is saying is that the oldest daughter, Brandy Harvey, is upset because, well, Lori Harvey, who isn't even Steve Harvey's real daughter, is getting all of the shine and none of them did. It is probably because of the strained relationship of the mother. That's just kind of what happens when your dad moves on, and we all know this. Your dad moves on, doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He's on to his new family, the kids he makes, and, you know, obviously the people under his jurisdiction. When your mom and dad break up and he moves over to a new house, it's kind of like, you know, a pastor who goes to another church. He still loves the old church he was at, but he's now at a new church. And it's similar, not equal, I get it, but your dad can only see you part-time. The new family, the new mom may let that dad have more control over the household, and that those kids who take into consideration how appreciative they are of the father. Let me just tell you this, what I know about a lot of people. Sometimes you get stepchildren who are more appreciative of you as a man. I'm not trying to tell you guys to do it, than your own kids. Here's what I honestly believe. I believe that Marjorie Harvey's kids pretty much told them, listen, Steve Harvey is not your stepfather. Steve Harvey is your father. He has you should give him the utmost respect. You should do exactly what he's telling you to do. And I believe what happened in the case of Lori Harvey, she most likely bought into the things he wanted from her as a daughter. And sometimes we got to understand this. Some of our favorites that we have in our life are people who are not in our family. I have relatives I cannot stand. I love them, I cannot stand. And the reality is that maybe the first set of kids were not willing to listen. We're not willing to take advantage of what the knowledge was. How many times do we hear where black men or black fathers give money to their kids don't want to listen, they don't do anything, but then, you know, you have a stepchild or somebody else who takes, you know, heed to your particular teachings and they start doing very well. That is what I think happened in particular when it comes to this. I personally believe that Lori Harvey and Marjorie Harvey's other kids were better sons and daughters and acted in that way than his real children. Because I believe those real children probably looked at Steve as, look, I want you to give me this, I want you to give me that, but I don't want to listen to what you have to say. I'm not in your jurisdiction. And then maybe they had a tainted view coming from the mother. And this happens all the time. You know, it's just like me being in Africa. I'm from the African-American community, love the African-American community, right? But when I'm here and I'm seeing some of the, you know, the things I'm able to do here in comparison to, you know, maybe some parts of Black America, some parts of home, you have your problems. But then when you look at it, it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm getting a certain level of respect here. I might not or may not have gotten in the States. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying it's true, but same thing with the passport bros. Okay, you know, I have a situation that's more or less favorable for me here than there. And I think what may have happened as a man and as a father figure, he was getting more respect for these particular people who didn't have a tainted view on him, or maybe a view he may have been lied on from his other people or his real kids. So that's probably what happened. A lot of times men understand that this happens. It's not perfect and it's not always nice or fair, but the reality is a lot of black men and men in general are giving a good effort. They would love to give it to their kids, but for whatever reason, child support, visitation, mom wants you to see the kids, all those evil things can happen. And when they do, it strains a relationship. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.